Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to IFA. It's an extremely exciting evening for us at IFA because today is the first time that we go live with a broadcast to all of you, our wonderful IFAs, and actually the whole world that's watching right now. Now, I'm down in Durban right now with some of the most influential IFAs that we have in the business. And we've got a star-studded cast bringing you some of the best tips about how to take your business forward. Tonight is an empowerment session where we bring to you some knowledge sharing, some information, and some really exciting tips to help you grow your IFA businesses and take them to the next level. Now, my name is Kiran Krishna and I'm the IFA executive in charge of the presenters. And it is my honor this evening to bring to you this first live broadcast and host this event down with my very, very special guests that are in studio with me as well. So ladies and gentlemen, wherever it is in the world you are, wherever it is in IFA world you are, we want to also say a very happy 20th birthday to IFAs. As you know, we turned 20 years this year on the 1st of July. And tonight is also a commemoration of Madiba Day. As you all know, the 67 Minutes campaign is one that has struck into the hearts of many people around the world. And tonight we bring to you, as part of that campaign, our bid to help improve 67 lives. Well, maybe not even 67, 670. Hey, hang on, maybe not even 670, maybe 6,700 lives. Because the spirit of Madiba, the spirit of the centenary, is all about making a change and about paying it forward. And IFA is that kind of business that certainly makes a difference in the lives of everybody that it touches on. Tonight is a special evening, as mentioned, because not only is it the first, but we hope it is the future of how we can bring with you cutting-edge technology in sharing information and empowering your businesses and taking, of course, your businesses and that of IFA to the very next level. Now, of course, those of you that are tuning in this evening might already be IFAs, and there might even be some new people out there that are tuning in for the first time. And I'm sure you must all be wondering, as always, so why did I join IFA in the first place? A lot of you would have remembered that it's all about earning extra income, creating the lifestyle that you'd really like to have, and of course, to achieve the goals and dreams that you set up for yourselves, making as much money as you can, certainly being one of them. But the important thing, friends, is how do you get there? How do you do that? How do you actually manage to take your goals and dreams and transfer them into actions in the workplace, in the business field? How do you actually help realize that inviting, meeting, and following up is part of a process that has so much more intertwined into it? Now, I've been at IFA for 16 years, and I'm sure there are many IFAs that have been around even longer than I have. But there are so many good reasons that you should be in business with IFA. Now, of course, you all know that IFA is part of Clientele Life, which is a listed company on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. It's a business that you should be proud to be partnered with because it's a public company. And of course, it's one that is here to stay. You heard me say earlier on that it's 20 years old. And of course, that is no joke. To be around for a long time, to endure all the tough times in business, as well as the good times in business, shows that it's a company of substance. It's one that has been around for a long time and will be here, so you can count on IFA to help you to make the income that you want to make. There's so much more to talk about. At IFA, we offer bursaries to qualifying children of parents that are part of our business. This is a huge initiative because, like with the Madiba campaigns, we too at IFA believe that you've got to pay it forward. And of course, education is the key to unlocking all the success that you need in life. More than that, we have fantastic competitions, we have bonuses that IFAs that join the business can benefit from by earning, by traveling on international holidays. It's all there for you to take advantage of. Whatever head office brings out for the network, it's always as a case of helping you to use the tools to build your business and, of course, realize all of your dreams and of all of your goals. We've even given away a house at IFA, and I'm not too sure how many businesses or competitions out there have done this, but we're certainly proud of the fact that we were able to give an IFA a house to the value of 1 million rand. And these are just some of the toppings on the cake, as we would call it, right? So this business is all about making money, IFA, as we all know, stands for Independent Field Advertisers, and it's a business that's truly a South African business, and it's one that is here to change the South African landscape. So friends, you hear it all the time, IFA works. Those of you that have not joined our business, you would have seen it all the time. You see these beautiful black branded cars that IFAs buy themselves through the money that they've made. And you've got to be wondering all the time, you know, how do these people do it? What is the secret? And I'm sure some of you are thinking that if I could stop one of these successful IFAs, what would I ask them? What would some of the tips be? And let me tell you, to start off this very first broadcast, we're going to share some of those secrets. And the most important one that we're going to focus on this evening is that these successful IFAs, they have all learned how to market. They've all learned how to market themselves, and they've learned how to market the IFA business opportunity. You see, marketing is a very powerful term. It's a tool that is all about advertising, and it talks about so many things: the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you dress, what you say, how you say it. And tonight, we're going to unpack those key messages. So once again, it's all about marketing. It's all about how do you market yourself and how do you market the IFA business opportunity. And some of the tricks of this, it's all about making sure that you say the right thing to the right people at the right time. Now, let me not waste too much more of your time, because as I mentioned earlier on with me, I've got some of the most powerful IFAs in the business. And they're here just for you tonight to share some of their secrets and some of the tips of how they've done it and how they've succeeded in the business. So ladies and gentlemen, at this point in the evening, it gives me great pleasure to announce that we'll be welcoming our IFA Chairman's Forum member. He is IFA number 1 in the business in terms of his ranking, and of course, he is somebody that's got pearls of wisdom. So here to tell you a little bit about how they've done it, I'm going to bring on Mr. Tula Mofoko.
Thank you so much, KK. Hi, everybody. It's such a wonderful pleasure for me to be sharing in this wonderful training that we'll be sharing with a lot of you out there, talking about how we've come to be where we are today. And more so that we are actually celebrating 20 years in the IFA business, of which I'm actually celebrating 17 years in the business. I joined the business when it was actually 3 years old. So I've seen the business as it grew up, and I've grown with it as well. As the business is celebrating 20 years, I'm actually celebrating 17 years in the business. Why have I been in the business for such a very long time? That's a very interesting question that somebody is asking, because some of the people think that you can only come in here for 1 or 2 months and then take whatever you can. You cannot actually make a living out of this business. I have. You know, let me start off by saying, do you know how I got to be in the business? I come from a teaching background. I was a teacher for 19 years, and having served the Department of Education for this 19 years, something kept on happening. My salary would not match the expenses that I wanted to service. So my debts were bigger than the money that was coming in, and therefore I started to look for extra income. That is how I got to know about IFA. I was looking for extra income, and this extra income, which I had no idea was going to take me to the level where I am actually today. And I even remember that a lot of my colleagues, when they saw me joining the business, they thought maybe it was one of those things that you just come in, make some money, get out, and all of that. To their surprise, when after 1 year I resigned from the Department of Education, and because I had realized that there was so much to be done in the business, and I could actually make a living out of the IFA business opportunity. You know, I love it when I'm asked, how did you do it? The first thing that most of you need to know about the IFA business is that it is a business. It is a business, and a very serious business, like your shops, your service stations, all these big businesses, even the franchises. Once you understand the magnitude of the business that you are in, you will start to take it seriously, number one. Number two, you will learn everything there is to learn about the business, because that is also another thing that I have seen a lot of people not doing right, is that they get into the business and they feel that the business will automatically do it themselves without actually knowing anything about the business. So the first trick that I can share with people who are watching today is that learn about the business. Learning about the business will give you, number one, the confidence you need to know what the business is about. There are so many materials that are available that we learn from. The first one is our starter manual. If you have a starter manual, at the presentations, people are given starter manuals. Usually people simply sign starter manuals without actually reading what the starter manual is about. After having signed the starter manual, go home, make it your point that you learn everything in the starter manuals. You will be so surprised how empowered you will be, because another thing that has made a lot of people fail in our business is that you start to invite people to a concept that you don't understand yourself. So that is my first key, why I have stayed in the business for such a very long time. Number two, besides the information that you need to have, is to treat it as a business. What is it about a business that is different from any other thing? You must know that once you are in a business has got a product, a business has got a target market. If you do not know these things, you are not in business. You are actually, they call it, referring people to what? Because once you know that you are in a business, what is the product of our business? The product of our business is that we are advertising a lifestyle. That is our product. We are advertising a lifestyle for people who still have a hope of a better life out there. Those are the people that come into our business. Those are the people that come in to realize that dream that we are talking about. The next thing, who are those people? The people that you start to identify are people who identify with the product, a better life. That is what we are talking about. A better life means people are already working, but with the salary that they are getting, it's not enough. They want more out of life, but their salaries and their jobs cannot enable them to afford that. So what do? That is where we come in. That is where everybody who signs the IFA business needs to know that we identify our target market, which is people who are looking for a better life, extra income, because their salaries cannot service that. Once you are in the business, the next thing that you need to know now is you treat it as a business. When you treat this business as a business, running a business, you need to be very professional, because a lot of people, before they know the business they're talking about, they need to know about you. And you are the first person, the first contact that people need to know. So that is where it comes in when we talk about branding yourself. Branding yourself is so vital and important in our business, because the moment a person is turned off by one, your appearance, your manner of speaking to people, all of these things, they will say no to what they don't know, because you have turned them off. It's not the business. But most of the time, people will say, I'm not interested in your business. And you think they're not interested in the actual business. They're not interested in you. So you take time, which is what I did. I took time once I started to be engaged in the business, and I understand that my main important thing to do was to advertise this wonderful concept to other people. I started to work on me because there was a lot of job to be done by me. I advertised me. I made sure that I live up to what I was actually sharing with people. Some people will say to you, you know, it's easy for you to say these things. Why? Because I'm joining the business, but I don't have the money. That is where improvising comes in. I even remember that people start to notice very little things. Starting to wear a clean shirt, starting to put your shirt inside your trousers, all of such things, they make a difference, and people will start to notice. They will start to ask you even questions like, what has happened to you? And then that's where it's your cue to start introducing the business. There are so many minor little things that people overlook, and yet they are very important. Doing the business as well means people depend on you, because remember that they do not know the business. You are the one who are already in the business. So what do? When you introduce people to the business, you need to be professional. Remember that in network marketing, people do exactly what you have done. If you get it wrong, the whole network will get it wrong, because they copy from you. You are the first point of contact. So it's important that people need to understand what is it that we do. For 17 years, without fail, you won't believe what I'm about to tell you. I've been following our winning formula. And what is that? IMF. Inviting people, making sure that they attend presentations, and I attend the presentations with them. At the presentations, the presenter will unpack the business for you. After that, all of those who are interested to join the business, you work with them. Now, imagine if you keep on doing that. You don't simply phone people and say, when are you coming to a presentation? But you go to a presentation with them up until such time that they get used to it. That is how I have built such a huge network in South Africa, because it started with me. I remember that in about 1 or 2 years, I had a network of over 750 people. In about 5 years, I had a network of 1,000 people. I remember that in 2011, I had a network of 7,500 people. How did I grow a network this big? Because I started it right. I invited people, brought them to presentations, worked with them. Invited people, brought them to presentations, worked with them, and that is what they did as well. Then the whole circle started to expand. That is why today we have got people who are also in the same cycle as myself. It's a question of duplication. It's so important to get it right the first time. Don't say, I'm going to start anyhow, and then, because once people remember, network marketing is about duplication. What are you duplicating? Are you duplicating the right thing, or are you duplicating the wrong thing? That is how I came to be where I am today. And another last thing that I really need for people to take very good note of is that in a business, you do not open the doors to your business as and when you feel like it. That is what I've seen with a lot of people. They say, because now I'm my own boss, I can come on Monday, sometimes I come on Sunday, sometimes I come anywhere. It doesn't work like that. You need to have a schedule that you are going to use to say, I am free on a Saturday and I'm also free on a Thursday. These are my dates. Stick to those dates. Why? Because they will build that momentum that you need, so that all of your people must always find you in presentations. That is how you start to build a very powerful network. People understanding that to do the network, you need to be there all the time. Thank you so much, Kay. I hope they've learned something.
So there you have it, friends. That was the one and only Mr. Tula Mafoko, IFA #1 in the business in terms of the rankings, and of course a man with so much of knowledge, a wealth of knowledge. And I liked two of the very special things he says, because in essence he spoke about, to be successful you have to be able to market yourself. Now earlier on I said it's all about marketing yourself and marketing your business, and the ways to do that is to keep it simple, of course. And Tula said something earlier on. He said that once I joined, I started to work on me. What a fantastic thing to say, because I remember before I even got in today, I had to go and get a shave and clean up and get some gel to get my hair looking good. You've got to be working on yourself all the time. And it's also important to make sure that you can market your business. And to market your business, you need to know it. You need to understand how it works. But somebody who knows a lot about understanding and a lot about how you should be doing things is our National Training Manager. Now I've got Helen Donald with me in studio, and she's going to share with you some of the most amazing tips about the art of marketing. Helen, what do you have for everybody?
Thank you very much, Kieran, and hello to all the IFAs, many of whom I know, and I hope that you are pleased to see me. I would just like to say that seeing Kieran and Tula kind of bragged a little bit about the length of time that they've been with IFA, and just to give you an indication that IFA is a lifestyle for all of us. Kieran was saying that he has been here 16 years, Tula 17, well, I have been here 15 years. So between us, we have long life at IFA. I would just like to say thank you to Tula for everything that he has said, because basically what he's been saying to you is that you're not selling a product. You are in fact marketing a business opportunity. And in order to market correctly, you need to have developed certain skills. Remember, it's the aim of every IFA to build a network, to be able to build a number of key appointments underneath them in order to earn. So in order to learn how to network market properly, you need to have certain skills. You cannot do it from a position of ignorance. What skills are you looking at? Number one, you have to have business knowledge. Business knowledge means, do you know everything that there is to know about IFA? Do you go to presentations? As Tula said, read your starter manual. Inform yourself about what is IFA. Do you have company knowledge? Do you know about clientele life? Are you all able to say with confidence, IFA is the network marketing division of clientele life? Do you have product knowledge? Can you list the 5 products that are offered by the IFA business opportunity? Do you know about each one of them? If not, read your starter manual. How can you tell prospects about our products if you don't know about our products? You need to have informed yourselves. You need to have marketing knowledge. And this is what we talk about, investing in yourself. Spend money on books, on DVDs. You're going to find out that we have a number of YouTube videos and training programs that are under development and about to be launched. Learn how to click onto them and learn how to be an IFA through our IFA training videos. Be organized. Never approach somebody to be a prospect unless you are organized. Know what you're going to say to them. Have marketing materials available to help you. And keep records. A number of our top IFAs will tell you exactly the same thing. Once you have seen somebody, follow-up includes keeping records so that you know who to go back to and who you know who to avoid like the plague. But you need to be able to go back to people. Those are 6 extremely important skills that you need to have learned. But there are 3 more without which it doesn't matter how well you know the first 6, you are never going to succeed in IFA. And your first one is your attitude. Your attitude is everything. If some of you are thinking, What does she mean by attitude? Your attitude is the way you think or feel about something. You can have a positive attitude, which shows in your face, in your body language. It's an attitude that says when you invite people, I know you want to join me. I know you're going to join me. Or you can have a very negative attitude, which basically says to people, I don't think this business works, and in any way, I think I'm a failure. No one wants to join somebody who is a failure. You need to have a positive attitude. You need to act a positive attitude in the beginning if you're not terribly sure. You need to develop one. And how do you do that? You invest in yourself. You invest in other people. The more you learn to like other people and to find out about them, the more they will like you. And when they like you, they will join your business because your attitude spells success and not failure. And people want to join downlines of people who are, in fact, successful. So your first one is your attitude. Be positive. Learn to smile. Learn to be polite to people who might be rude to you. Learn to be charming. Learn to take an interest in people, and they will take an interest in you. Secondly, and Tula has pointed this out and Kieran has mentioned this, one of the most important skills that you can develop is to learn how to improve your appearance. I'm not talking about taking yourself out and then saying it's Helen's advice this weekend to spend a fortune on new clothes. I'm saying to you that use what you've got. Make the most of them. Make the most of how you look. Think of all the IFAs that you know, that you admire. Think of how the presenters that you know, that you admire. How do they dress? How do they deport themselves? How do they present themselves? What is it that you admire? And copy that. So, your appearance is the second most important thing. And thirdly, your prospect list. You cannot invite people unless you know who you're going to invite. And you only know who to invite if you have a prospect list. This is a list of all the people that you know in a book. Your cell phone contacts, your school friends, your work colleagues, your church friends, social friends. You write them in a list. And those are the people that you approach. It's not a random hit or miss affair where you invite somebody who happens to be standing behind you in a shopping line. You bond with that person first, and then you invite that person. IMF, invite, meet, and follow up. Plan what you're going to say before you invite those people. Know what you're going to say if they are negative. Have answers to any queries. And in order to give you an example of perhaps what I've been talking about, I'm now going to invite one of our top and most charming IFAs that we have. Many of you will know, Delani Maishi. Welcome, and I'd like to invite Delani to be able to give you some tips on how this is done.
Well, Helen, thank you for sharing those very exciting tips. And I see that Delani is making his way into the studio and getting into his seat. And he's certainly going to be sharing with you some of those pearls of wisdom. So it's important to remember those very, very important training tips because it's all about marketing yourself, right? So it is attitude, making sure that you have the right attitude. It's appearance, making sure that you look the part because it is an advertising business after all. And then, of course, prospecting. Prospect regularly, prospect all the time, but make sure that you continue to find that new business sources around the country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the man that's going to come up next is also a member of the IFA Chairman's Forum Circle, and he's a man who started the business with pretty much nothing. At the time that he joined IFA, I remember his story. It is a special one, but let him tell it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Delani Maishi.
Hi, IFA, it is my pleasure to share my story with you. And I'm also want to say I'm celebrating this day because in our IFA business, this is actually our payday. So imagine to share a story on a payday. So I've joined the IFA in 2009, and my story is totally different to many people who come here to join IFA for the sake of doing extra income. I joined this business in 2009. I was retrenched. And for me, it was a pity because I knew about IFA business before I even joined it. But I think what I need to share with people, there are a lot of perceptions that people are pushing out there in terms of how this business is run. And up to my surprise, when I came to a presentation, I discovered many things that are not there on the street. That Clientele Life is actually one of the listed companies, and Clientele Life is a huge company that is commanding IFA business. So I started to look at this opportunity and say, yeah, here we are, I've got a job, I've lost my job, and there's a business that is there in front of me to try. And I have nothing to lose by then because anyway, I lost my job. So I started to do the business. Out of the blue, I've tried to put my effort on it, and it wasn't easy because many people think when you succeed, it's just that a cut and paste process. It wasn't easy. I've worked my business. I remember a close friend of mine, Mr. Chulebo Nampele, is a very close friend. That guy was actually my first recruit on my business. We went to the presentation together. But one of the things that I want to share with people is that when you invite someone to a presentation, it is not about signing that person, but it's about sharing the dream and the vision of those people earning income and changing their life. Up to now, since we signed this business in 2009, we've been together working this business, helping one another. So it's not about signing someone and saying, no, I'm happy, somebody have signed, then I'm done. It's about building a relationship where you work with people, you assist them along the way. But let me just share what happened with IFA. I remember when I'm joining it in 2009, I remember my first earnings because I was starting my business, introducing just few people. I earned around about 760 Rand. Second month, it was 1,800. Third month, 3,400. Then I realized, hey, there's a business that I'm doing starting from nothing. And in a space of 8 months, I was getting paid around about 18,000 Rand a month. Where I used to work before, I was not even earning a quarter of that amount. Then I decided to invest more effort to run this business. And a lot of people, they were still talking. Some of them criticizing me. And I just kept my focus and worked the business. Guess what? In 2010, November, that was the first time I was enjoying the fruit of my hard work in this business because I even bought myself my first brand new car, which was a Mercedes, not just any car, a Mercedes-Benz C200, which was the latest model of that year. So to me, even people now in the township, they started to notice that, hey, this IFA business is actually working. And let me tell you, even now, our life has been changed. Not only us, even people around us. What I want to share with people in terms of how to look IFA as a business, get a lot of information in terms of understanding your business and actually dedicate yourself to run this business as your own. Because most of the time, what I've seen, people when they join IFA, they like doing it because they are invited. And it seems like they're doing somebody a favor. To me, when I took that contract, when I signed my application form, to me, it was a binding contract that this is what I need to do to realize the brand promise, because IFA brand promise is about extra income. So those people who are still working, you still have a chance to make extra income. And I want to remind everyone that is listening that it is a fact that in our country these days, there's a lot of things going around. Petrol price, food, everything is going up. And people out there, they are struggling. Many of them, they are not coping. And the buzzword in the political space, they are talking about the radical economic transformation. And let me share with you, Clientele Life IFA, they started this transformation of people 20 years ago. So imagine I'm one of those people who have benefited fully. Almost 9 years ago, my life has been transformed because as I speak, I'm here, I'm driving fancy cars, I've got beautiful homes that I built for my children. And the life that I'm living now is totally different to the life that I was living before or before joining IFA. So to me, to those IFA that are listening and those people who always wonder, what are these guys doing? Let me tell you, we are the same. We are actually, what we are doing is the same that every IFA is doing. But what we are doing differently is that we persist and we keep on doing it now and again. So maybe let me take this opportunity to share the very important things that an IFA can just note in terms of how to grow your business or to invite, because that is where most people are losing it. I remember when I joined this business in 2009, I did not have much money to spend, but I used to take every suit that I used to get and make sure that it's clean and I'm presentable. And some people, they did not even know that I did not have a car by then. I look like a person who owned a car, but which was good enough for me, and it works in my favor, because even when I walk in the mall, a person will not even notice this person, he came on a taxi, because the way I presented myself. And I also want to give a chance to those people who started the business, and even those people who are still there in the business, that challenges are there for everyone. And if you run a business without challenges, imagine our shops like Woolworths and other shops, they are still open, but there are people who are still coming to those shops every day, have a look and not buying. And those shops are not closing because people are not buying the items on the shop. It is the name of the business that when you are running your own business, you'll find people that are rejecting you. Not because they are rejecting you, they don't like the opportunity. Maybe at the time you're approaching them, they are not in the right frame of mind, or they are not ready to take it. So, which means a rejection or a no does not necessarily mean that what we are giving to people is not right. I remember I've received many calls after many years for people who have asked me that you are still there with IFA. I remember you told me about some years ago. I said, no, I'm still there, I'm working it. So maybe by that time they are in financial constraints, they want to take the opportunity. So to those people who are inviting, keep records of people that you have spoke to, and make sure that you don't just phone them every time, because it doesn't feel right when you go now and again. But I want to take this opportunity to share with you some tricks, a few things that you can learn, especially with the rules of marketing, because that is where most people need to master how to market your business. Maybe I will take this opportunity to share with you how to market your business.
So thank you so much, Delani. Very, very exciting indeed. I've got to say that even I've learned something new this evening. When you spoke about radical economic transformation, I think that was quite a big statement to make. And the thing about radical economic transformation, the most important word in all of that for me was change. You see, as Delani spoke about, sometimes you go into a shop and you look at things that are on the shelves and you don't buy. And as we know, that doesn't mean that you don't want it. It just means that you're not ready to buy it just then. The thing about change, though, is that so many of us out there are struggling, not achieving the goals and dreams that we want to. And at the end of the day, to be able to do that, you've got to change. You've got to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to get into a position where you really want to make your problems go away. I mean, face it, how many people out there want to hear other people's problems? Nobody does, because everybody has the same challenges and everybody has the same problems these days. So the thing about business, the thing about IFA is that you've got to do the right things, and you've got to do them right the first time. You've then got to stick with the process. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a serious business which can give you serious money if you are serious about it. And I heard an IFA once say that if you treat it like a part-time business, it's going to give you part-time money. But if you treat it like a full-time business, it'll give you full-time money. Now, the next speaker that we have in studio with us is a very beautiful IFA who is currently the #2 point earner nationally, and she's the highest placed female point earner in our current competitions in South Africa. So, ladies and gentlemen, here to talk to you a little bit more about the art of marketing and share with you some of those tips is the beautiful Zimbili Mazibuko.
Thank you very much, Karen, for that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Zimbili Mazibuko. I work as a journalist and a proud IFA. I remember that when I joined the business, I was really struggling financially. And I remember that I had credit cards, I had loans that I could not be able to pay for. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it was just not, a nice position to find myself in. But when I was introduced to this business, I knew very well that my life would change for the better, because I could not even afford a car of my dreams when I still had one salary. I remember that at times I used to attend family functions, and when I went there, people would envy me because of the company that I work for. But little did they know that I was actually struggling to even buy myself things that I wanted. So through this business, I have been able to buy a car of my dreams. I have been able to have a house of my dream. I have been able to also take my kids to the best schools in Durban. So today, I just want to say, if you are here and you are watching this video and you are part of this presentation, I just want to tell you that you have made the right decision by joining the IFA business opportunity. You have not gone wrong. It's important that we have other things that we do on the side beside working. I am still working full-time as a journalist, but on the side, I am doing IFA, and I'm very happy to say that at IFA, I earn 3 times more than my salary at work. And for me, that is, a big change for me. That is something amazing, because I now sleep peacefully at night, which is something that I did not do, which is something that I did not have before I joined the business. So for you to be able to to get through this business, or for you to be able to be successful in this business, let me share with you the rules of marketing the IFA business. And I must say that I have also been able to grow my business because of these rules, because they have impacted immensely on the growth of my business. The first rule would be to listen. You need to listen to your prospect. When you invite people to presentation, listen to your prospect. Don't just force them to come to presentations, but you need to also listen to them. It's also important to market yourself. You cannot be in a taxi where people are complaining about VAT, where people are complaining about oil prices and everything else, and not be able to offer that opportunity to the people. You need to offer people the opportunity, the IFA business opportunity, because you are there, you are an IFA, you know what the business offers. You need to market the benefits of the business. If I say benefits, I'm talking about the bursary that IFA offers to people. You need to tell people about the help that we get from the head office in case they encounter problems in their businesses. Where should people go? So you need to be able to market those benefits to people. You also need to be able to ask the right question. Ask people, why do you think this business would help you? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? Is it for security reasons? Do you need something extra on the side? Find out from people what exactly they need, so that you understand better the person that you have invited into your business. It's also important to be informed. You need to know about the business. You need to know what the business offers. You need to know about the starter manuals. You need to know about the application form, so that when people ask you questions about our business, you are able to answer those questions. Another point that I think is very important is for you to show your prospect. You need to be able to take them to presentations so that they learn about the business. You don't have to explain the business. You don't explain the business, because presenters are there to explain the business to your prospects. So all you need to do is just to follow these simple rules of marketing your business, and make sure that you do your follow-ups. Don't just leave people hanging, but speak to your people, listen to them, be there for them, and take them to presentations. And in that way, you will be able to grow your business. You will be able to fly. And remember to commit to your business. It's very important that we commit to our businesses, like we do at work. We don't just decide that we are not coming to work today, but we are always there. Why? Because we know that at the end of the day, we will get paid. So in this business as well, we need to apply the same principle.
So, Zimbili, thank you so much for those very, very special words and very important tips that you've shared with us. Actually, it's more than just tips. It's the way to success. And, the art of learning to master the skills of marketing yourself and marketing your business is one that requires a lot of practice. You see, the word mastering means that you've got to do things over and over again until it's perfect. Don't just try something once or twice. Try it as many times as you have to make sure that you perfect what you have to. And Zimbili said something very interesting earlier on, and this applies to so many of us out there. We may be employed, we may even have jobs, but it doesn't mean that we can afford the lifestyles that we want. Actually, most people in this day and age, they are living and they're governed by what their salaries allow them to do. It's time to stop thinking that way. It's time to start thinking about life and the way you want it to be. It's time to start believing that you deserve the life that you want, and then you've got to work like it's nobody's business to make it happen. I mean, Zimbili mentioned it earlier on that she was a journalist. She was, working out there for quite some time. But now through IFA, she's able to change everything around and live the life she wants. private schools for the kids, international holidays. I can assure you, I've been out on some of the IFA incentive trips with these amazing IFAs. It's all there for the taking. And of course, hard work does pay at the end of it all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all of these skills that we've spoken about, once you've mastered them, you're able to market yourself, you're able to market your business. What does it lead to? Why is it important? Why are we online right now talking to all of you? Because we want you all to succeed and be as successful, if not more successful, than even some of our forum members in studio with us tonight. It's all possible with hard work. Now, the bread and butter of IFA comes from your IFA earnings. And IFA earnings, as you all know by now, is based on the fact that you've introduced people on 6 levels in your business and they've all paid their premiums and their business fees. Now, lots of you watching are existing IFAs and are already aware of the earning structure. You're already aware that we have different earning structures based on restrictions by law on things like our funeral products, our ultimate dignity plans, the ultimate foundation plans, the wealth plans, the various products that we have out there. But at the end of the day, on the 20th of the month, good news day, as some of the IFAs have said this evening, it's all about the hard work you put in by inviting, meeting, and following up, as Mr. Mafoko said earlier on. So a few things to remember, friends, is that your key appointments are allowed to choose whichever policy they like, and of course one that suits their needs and one with a premium that they can afford. You've got to remember that you continue to earn out of every paid premium in your network all the way down to level 6. And it's also important to learn that you also earn points. Now, a lot of you watching out there will also want to be on some of the incentive trips we have. And I don't have time this evening to share all of the wonderful information we have. So look out for our next training video that'll be coming up really, really soon. But at this point, remember that every time you have a paid premium and a business fee that's paid, you also earn points. And these points are what add up to determining some of the prize winners for things like our incentive trips and of course some of the awards that we give away at the National Mass Rally. Now, while I'm talking about the National Mass Rally, let me sneak this one in very quickly. It's coming up on the 2nd of February. That's the 2nd of February 2019, and the National Mass Rally has a new home at the beautiful Sun Square Arena in Pretoria. That's right, we'll be changing venues. It's going to be the biggest and best rally, so buy your tickets now. Speak to any one of your presenters or feel free to call us at head office and we'll tell you more about that. Now, as you know, IFA earnings pay from levels 1 to 6, and you can earn as much money as you like through the IFA business. It's all determined by how hard you work and how much of quality you have in your business. Our business primarily pays you through your monthly IFA earnings, and as I mentioned, that's the bread and butter. But at IFA, there's many different ways to earn. You've also got the opportunity to earn through things like our club structures. And a club structure is there to congratulate you for achieving certain levels in the business. For example, if you achieve Club 30, it means that you've got 30 IFAs in your business with a premium paying policy. And once you've achieved that, it is a pat on the back to say, well done. You've got 30 people in your business. You've joined the prestigious club of Club 30. And our clubs, as you know, they go all the way up to not just 20,000 anymore, but up to Club 25,000. Now, there's a few exciting races on. There's a few competitions going on, but please make sure you attend presentations. That's where it all starts. You've got to be there to get all of the information, to understand all of the bonuses, all of the competitions. So go to presentations all the time. We've got more than 200 across the country, and it's all there to make sure that you, the wonderful IFAs, can grow your businesses. But enough said from me at this point in time. I think it's time that you maybe hear from somebody who has not just achieved a brand new club. I have it on good authority, he's moved up another club, and I'll share that with you shortly. But a man who's pretty much made it from nothing at all. He's a man that has been in the business for quite some time and has believed that with hard work and never giving up, that the world is your oyster. Today, he sits here in studio with me as the #1 earning IFA. That means the highest earning IFA in the business. So ladies and gentlemen, here to share his story with you is the one and only Mr. Tulubona Mbele.
Thanks, Prakate. Good evening, everyone. My name is Durban Mbele. I'm an IFA. I joined the IFA Business Opportunity in 2009 fortunately for me, when I joined the business, it was already very popular in South Africa, the network marketing business. The reason I joined the business, life was tough. I was down and out, but I was by that time I was owning a salon where I was busy helping people to cut their hair and selling airtime at the same time. I joined the business, then I started to earn. My first earnings was 773 rand 84 cents. I remember that was May when I got those earnings. Second month I moved to club to 1,200. In 3 months down, I was earning 3,600. In 5 months, that was October 2009, I was earning 5,200. 8 months down the line, I remember, I earned over 10,000 in this business. I quit on running a salon. I decided to do the business full time. 1 year later, I remember taking home over 31,000. In 2 years, 43,000. In 3 years, 50,000 a month. I relocated from Chesterville because back then I was living in the shack. I bought a house in Malvern that was worth 1 million rand. I remember in 2013, I was taking home over 70,000 in this business. 2014, 88,000. 2015, 90,000. In 2016, I was able to enter the bracket of more than 100,000 a month. As you heard, Bracket said, I am a top earner in this business. Right now, I'm not taking home less than 200,000 every month in this business. And what I've learned when you join IFA, you become a leader where you will lead people. So if you are a leader, what I've noticed, you need to understand that you need to be approachable. People shouldn't be afraid to ask you questions. So I think I do have all those skills because of the position that I have now in clientele. I'm a shareholder. I'm a chairman. On top of that, I'm a top earner. And the lifestyle that I'm living now with the family, I'm able now to take my kids to good school. I'm able to take them to overseas. Recently, I took them to USA. A year before last, I took them to Dubai. We connect to Barcelona. Life is good. That's all I can tell. The advice that I can give to you IFA out there, if you want to go somewhere, never make a mistake to ask someone who's never been there, because you won't get where you want to be. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mbele, and some very, very, very powerful words out there. And the story is an extremely powerful one, because it certainly traces the journey of somebody who's had very little or pretty much nothing at all, and has now turned things around to have the best of the best. And we're very proud of all of our IFAs, everybody out there. It doesn't matter how much you make, how little or how much. At the end of the day, the fact that you're out there working hard towards making your dreams come true is what the most important thing of it all is. But just remember out there, my friends, that the world is your oyster, and the limit in IFA is only the limit that you place on yourself. We at head office are so excited about bringing in new and exciting ways to change your business around and sustain your business for a long time to come, that quality is also a very important dynamic in our business. At the end of the day, as much as you want to sign up as many thousand people as you want, it's important that we help people to become earners. We help people to become club qualifiers, and that people understand what are the tools out there to make sure that they can drive a quality business. Now, earlier on, you heard me talk about, as well as some of the other IFAs, that paid premiums obviously equate to things like points being earned and earnings being paid, etc., etc. So it's very important to make sure that we get the right information at the right time. And the man that's all about quality, that says a quality message, is the man that's been here for quite some time, because he's spent some quality years at IFA. So Mr. Tulemafoko is back to take us through some of the quality activities at IFA. Mr. Tulemafoko.
What a better way to improve your business from where it is than using these tools that I will be mentioning just now. Because the bottom line of why we joined this business is to earn income, is to earn every month, is to have a sustainable business. And some of the things that we seem not to be taking cognizance of is these tools are there for us to make use of. The first one, there is these new machines that have just been introduced. We call them authenticating machines. These machines are there to validate people's bank accounts. It is so important that each and every person who signs up in the IFA business makes use of these machines, because they are a tool to minimize a lot of unmets. So a lot of IFAs that are in the business needs to understand the value of authenticating all of their downlines bank accounts. Every time that a new person signs in the business, they need to know that they need to authenticate their banking details. That is the first one. Authentication machines are available in all presentations. So do not be afraid if you don't see an authenticating machine. Once you're finished, approach the presenter in the venue to say, I want to validate my banking details. Where is your authenticating machine? In every presentations across South Africa, these machines are now available. The second tool that I have seen as not really taken care of is the application form, the importance of filling up the application form. You know, can you imagine what usually happens? You find a person having introduced 6 or 7 people to the presentation, and when it comes to filling up the application forms, that is the part that a lot of us are losing it, because you think that as a person has a pen with him and he can fill up anything, those application forms goes to head office and you say, I've signed and I've introduced people. The importance of filling up the application form correctly, accurately, and also illegibly using a black pen. It is the duty of an introducer to make sure that your job is not complete if you have introduced a person to the presentation, and when signing up, you do not make sure that every detail in the application form has been filled up correctly. The most important details that I need for people to take note of, it's the ID. As a person signs up, you fill up your name, your ID number must be correct. You must make sure that the ID number is correct. Number 2, the most important thing is your banking details, the account number. And if you say to a person, no, it doesn't matter if you don't remember. I've seen people doing like this. What's your account number? I think it's 2548. Yeah, I think it's 2548 or something. And you carry on filling that. Take it from me, you are not being serious. That is why you should not be in a position to beat yourself on the chest and say, the company has not paid me, because you were not sure of the account number. The account number is very important when people sign up. If a person is not sure of his account number, rather not sign up that person. Or if they do have their bank card, we do have our authenticating machines. They are able to retrieve a person's account number. And then the last one, we have got statements. These statements, I've seen people who are actually 2-3 months in the business, they don't even know about these statements. To know that there are statements, what is the use of the statements? The statements are there for people to monitor their businesses. A person joins the business today, signs up 9 people, and instead of looking for the statement to monitor that business, they will phone their introducer to say, I've signed up 9 people, but they have not received an SMS. Whereas we do have statements, you do not have to phone your introducer to find that out. We have the 2 most very important statements in this business. The first one is your banking details. The account number. The ID number. The account number is very important. We have the most 2 very important statements in this business. The number one statement that everyone needs to know how to read is called the hierarchy, active hierarchy statement. It's very important. And for you introducers, make sure that all of the people that you sign up in the business, let them know that there is this statement that they need to know about. It will tell them who have signed, who have joined the business, and who have got invalid banking details or whatever it is that is causing them not to appear on their statements. And then the second one is what we call the unmet statement. This statement actually will show those people that have not paid for their policies for whatever reason. There are many reasons why people have been unmet in the business. Others is because of insufficient fund. There are codes that will show you that this person, the account is correct, but there were no funds in his account. There is a code for that. Or the banking detail, the account number that the person has given us was invalid. The unmet statement will show that. So people need to know these two fundamental statements. Let me repeat, the active hierarchy statement as well as the unmet statement. That is your starting point. You start there, you are a goner. Thank you, KK.
Thank you so much, Tula Mafoko, and thank you so much to all of the speakers that we've had in studio with us this evening. Certainly sharing with you some pearls of wisdom about how to get your business getting onto the right track. And if you remember from earlier on this evening, we spoke about the fact that if you want to be successful, especially in our business here at IFA, you've got to make sure that you're able to market yourself and that you're able to market the business at the same time. And that means knowing about yourself, knowing what to look like, what to say, how to say it and when to say it. And of course, knowing your business. What makes our business stand out from everybody else? What makes our business the best business, in my opinion, in the world? And I was having a look earlier on, and I think it's Stefan Sali. Stefan is from somewhere in the world. He hasn't told us just where in the world he's right now. And he asked a very simple question about what exactly does IFA stand for. Now, IFA stands for Independent Field Advertisers. And for those of you that are new to our channel, that means that it is a business opportunity based right here in South Africa, which allows you to make income as much as you'd like to, of course, by following our formulas and doing the right things in our business. So friends, just before we close off this evening, we've had a couple of questions that have come through from people around the country and people wanting to know from our panel that's in studio with us, how did they achieve some of the goals that they have so far? So I'm going to ask just 4 questions this evening because we are coming up to our 67-minute time limit and of course doing our bit to change 67, well, as I said earlier on, maybe even 670,000 lives through this business of IFA. And looking over to my beautiful panel that's in-house with me this evening, I'm going to start off with our number one IFA here, Mr. Tula Mafoko. And Tulas, we've got a question for you. I think it's come from the Limpopo province, but that states that you've been here for 17 years, and that's quite a long time in the business. What are some of the key characteristics that you need to have to be around for such a long time in a business?
It's very important. It's very important to know that once you join the business, remember that in a business you start small. A lot of people do not understand that a business is something, it's like your baby. You start small and then your baby starts to crawl and then start to walk and then run. So some of the characteristics that you the audience is asking me now is that you must know that you are joining a business and it starts with you, and then from you to a team of about 10 people, and from a team working them gradually to 20 to 30. And if you have got that right, you will definitely be where I am today.
Till, thank you so much for that. I'm sorry, I've got to ask you one more question because now the questions are coming in quick and fast. It seems like IFAs are getting used to this brand new streaming that we've brought out. And do wants to know what are the differences between the active hierarchy and the unmet hierarchy statements that we have?
The active hierarchy shows the people that have signed in your business and that are active, meaning everything is in order in their businesses. And then the unmet actually is the same as the active. The only thing it will show those people that have not paid for their policies. For many reasons, a person has not paid for his policy because the bank account is not correct. There was insufficient fund in his bank account. So you are able now, when you have these two statements, to know that yes, I have introduced 9 people, for instance, and when you look at the unmet statement, 2 of those 9 people, you will not be able to get paid for them because they appear on the unmet statement because of the reasons mentioned above, insufficient fund or invalid banking details.
Nazo, great. I think even all of us in studio are learning all about our statements once again, so thank you for that, Tshilo Mafoko. Let's go across to Mr. Delani Maishi. Delan's quite a moving story earlier on, and one of our viewers from the Western Cape wants to know about, you've been here for a long time, you were retrenched at the time, but surely people said no to you. Surely you were rejected from time to time when you introduce people. How do you handle rejection in the business?
Thanks, KK. As I've mentioned earlier on, that is the nature of any business. That anyone who runs a business must understand that you are dealing with people. And not every time everyone will be interested to be part or to join you. It depends with time and your patience. I remember there's a story that I remember when I joined IFA business. I was still new at the time. I was very excited when I had around about 13 people that have confirmed that they're coming to a presentation. So I was in a good mood. I remember at the workshop waiting for them. 9 of them actually confirmed that we are almost around the vicinity of the venue. So to me it was like thumbs up, 9 people in one go. Guess what? The presentation was starting at 1. I stood there outside waiting for them, and even 9 of them pitch up on the day. And you won't believe, I was supposed to be devastated or decide to leave and go back home. I said, no, what I did, I was inviting them to an opportunity that I've already exist on. So for me, I need to go inside the venue. Let me refresh my memory, because every time you attend a presentation, you revive yourself in terms of knowledge and in terms of learning new things and meeting your peers, because you will find that what you're getting as a rejection, other people, they are used or are immune to it. They are almost getting it every day. I said to that presentation on the day, I enjoyed every moment of it. While I was deep down hurt, I know that my people let me down. Guess what? On the day, when the presentation, Mr. Mafugo asked me to share my story on a testimonial, which I did. I show a brave face, not showing what happening to people. I stood there very proud, very happy. Deep down, I know I was not happy. But guess what? After the presentation, everyone was busy signing their own people. I was ready to leave. I was approached by the stranger. A lady just came in and said, no, I actually came to this venue because I saw people coming in. I was not invited by anyone, but I was so happy to hear your story, the way you work with your team. I will be grateful to be part of your team. To me, it was, wow, at least one person is there for me to sign. And guess what? The same lady joined my business. It became Club 100 in 3 months. So to me, losing those 9 people was very demoralizing. My spirit was down. But imagine, for my persistence, I end up getting 100 people in the space of 3 months through that lead. So my story to people say, not any rejection or any no means that it is not possible. Actually, any no that you find, you must use it as a stepping stone and say, let me move forward, because you might come back and use that no. Some person will change his mind later. For me, I will say to IFAs or anyone listening, to run a business is not a yes, yes. Any business got challenges like any other business. I still face rejection even today.
Just to add on, KK, on what Maishi just said, because there's something that is coming in my mind. That means when you are in IFA, you don't have to go when you have people to the presentation. That means every time, even if you don't have people, you need to go there, because you are running a business and you learn new things every day in presentations.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Mbele. Thank you, Mr. Maisha, of course. And looking at the beautiful rose amongst the trees. There are no thorns here, that's for sure. Watinta abafazi, watinta imbogoto, right? So I think this whole worldwide phenomenon of women in business is an important one. And Zimbili, we're very proud of you. We're very proud to have you, of course, on the panel this evening as well. But if there was some inspiration you could send out, because a lot of the ladies sending in questions are saying, wow, Zimbili, very proud of you, Zimbili, you go, girl. You know, ladies have their hands full. What are some of the, inspirations you could share with the ladies out there tonight?
The first thing that I would say is that don't be scared to start something new. Don't be scared to go out there. Don't be scared to work on your dreams. If you want something, go for it. Don't be intimidated by anyone. So in this business, I know that when you are new and when you've just been to a presentation, you come out fired up, you come out excited. And I know, Uti, most of the time when you go out to people and when you tell them about the business, people will reject you. People will tell you stories. People will tell you things that will make you change your mind. So don't listen to people. You know your dream, you know your story, you know what you want in your life. So follow that and go with the people who had invited you to the business in the first place. So that is my message to a lot of women who are watching today and who still want to make it in this business, that the sky is not the limit. There is more that you can still do. Just go out there, give it your best shot. As I said earlier, it's important to commit. Respect your craft, respect your business, respect what you do. Because if you don't respect what you do, people will start saying that it's because it's a woman. That is why it's done in a certain way. If it was a man, it would have been done differently. So make sure that you go out there as a woman and you work on your craft, you work on your work, you work on your business, and work extra hard. Work 3 times more than the guys in your team. That's my message.
So Z, thank you so much. I almost feel like, no, I'm going to do it. Certainly very inspiring this evening. But we're going to be closing off the session really, really soon. Questions are coming in quick and fast. And Mr. Mbele, we've got one for you as well this evening, sir. Somebody seems to believe you're quite a young-looking guy out there. I think you do look quite young and handsome and super successful at the same time. And the question we've got for you, I'm not too sure where in the country it's come from, though, is that, in this day and age, there are so many different marketing channels out there. How important is it to take advantage of technology, social platforms, etc., to market your business?
Kubaluleke kakhulu Brakey ukuthi uma ngabe ususe businessini understand ama dynamic akhona ukuthi njoba ngiqala le ndlela nje ngiyapi, where you going, because if you don't have a knowledge of whatever business that you involve yourself, you won't go anywhere. So it's very important, and the most important thing, you need to be very, very focused, be consistent, and definitely you will get wherever you want to be.
Can I also add on that, KK, that it's speaking about social media, it's very important that we go out there, and present our businesses to the media, Facebook, use Facebook, tell people about your presentations, put your flyers out there, use LinkedIn. I didn't know that you can actually get people on LinkedIn. I tried it and I did get 2 people on LinkedIn because I wrote there about a seminar that we had at in Durban. And that's just what I want to emphasize on people, that use social media, speak about the business. Don't be scared to tell people about what we do. Don't be scared to speak to people about the IFA business opportunity.
So gone are the days of just standing out there and waiting for people to come past, then you grab them. So people, you need to be innovative. There are a lot of ways. Some use the media, the radio. So we need to innovate ourselves and take this business seriously, because that's what people, they have to see, that IFA is not just a business. Imagine a business that provides things like earnings guaranteed benefits, where your earnings are multiplied times 12 when you pass on. Those things you cannot get it anywhere. So these stories are not told out there. Yeah. So I think it is us to IFA now to take it very seriously and not be apologetic, because many people have rejected us, but I will be happy to be rejected and go downstairs and drive a Lamborghini or a Range Rover, which I'm driving it, and find somebody who's rejecting me, who's still on a taxi, because I will keep on doing what I'm doing. Yeah,
that's very true. Thank you very much for that. Mr. Mafoko, we've got a very interesting question that's coming from Bonani Mapini, and I think it's one that's worth answering. to our audience out there. And Bonani wants to know, how do you respond when prospects asks you, what do you do? Or, is this a pyramid scheme? So what do you say to them?
I tell people that I'm involved in a marketing business opportunity because we are marketers. I'm involved in a marketing business opportunity, and it's very important thing is for you to make sure that the person gets to come and attend a proper presentation. Because another mistake that a lot of people do make is that once they know what you're doing, but they still want more information, and you get into the trap of wanting to explain on the street or in corridors. That's where you're getting it wrong. Once you have answered the first question, the second question is that it is so important because I will not have all your answers, but at the presentation, everything that you want to know about the business is found in our presentation. So if you are really serious, I don't mind taking your number so that at home I will phone you in the evening and we make an appointment to the next presentation.
Yeah, wise words indeed. And tools, just to maybe add on to that, I think some of the important things about the pyramid scheme dynamic is that there are some fly-by-night companies out there. And of course, ours is by far a very legit business.
Yes.
We are members of the DSA as a business. Clientele is a listed company on the JSE. Mr. Mafoko earlier spoke about the fact that we offer products, you know, and these are the dynamics that sets us apart from some of the illegal businesses out there. But I've always believed personally that IFA is the biggest and the best out there, and I'm very proud of that. And with all due respect to all the other businesses out there, but I do think it's important that we help to make a difference in people's lives. And it's time to sign off this evening. A parting shot, a good night message in a few seconds from you, sir.
A parting shot to everyone at home is that don't let yourself down. You never know how good you are unless you try.
Z, what about you?
Go out there and be the best version of yourself.
Big quote from Les Brown: if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But what you do, if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. So they might say IFA is hard, but it's very nice when you earn 100,000 rand a month.
Mr. Mbele.
My last word will be, even if you feel like you don't like it, but do it, because there are results there that they will take you somewhere.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mbele. And my production manager in the studio here is just firing away questions at the moment. But unfortunately, friends, we have run out of time. And this is the first time that we've brought you a live webinar from IFA. And we hope that it's the first of many to come. As a matter of fact, as I look at it right now, I've got Bonga and Duna that's asking, will the webinar be available later on this evening? Yes, it will. We will keep this video live, or we'll leave it up on the YouTube channel for at least the next 6 hours or so. So please do spread the word, ask people to go out and watch it and like our tube, and please subscribe to the IFA YouTube channel. That's very, very important. We've also got, I think it's Tumisang Cornelius Mahua asking us, will this continue forever? Well, that's up to you, IFAs. If we can get all of our IFAs to come on to learn from these amazing IFAs themselves about some of the tips to become successful, I'm sure this could be a tool that we could consider keeping on. But this test is to make sure that we can bring value to you, our IFAs. And I've got Leslie Raters, I actually know this one, from the Western Cape, who wants to know when is the next live stream. So Leslie, please look out on all of our social media platforms for dates of the next broadcast. You can catch us on our Facebook page, IFA Business Opportunity. You can catch us on Instagram and of course on Twitter at IFA Business Opportunity. And more than that, friends, it's been an absolute honor. I want to say thank you so much to all of our very, very esteemed studio guests, Mr. Tula Mafoko this evening, Mr. Delani Maishi, Mr. Tulubona Mbele, and of course the beautiful Zimbili Mazibuko, as well as our National Training Manager, the beautiful Helen Donald, for sharing some pearls of wisdom. And we look forward to bringing you more of these in the future and helping to change your business and your lives. Please send us some messages on the WhatsApp groups. Tell us what you thought of our session. It is our first one, and hopefully the best is still to come. So ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Kiran Krishna, saying good night and God bless to everybody, and see you at a presentation real soon.